So Bobby Robson is one of the most beloved and popular figures in the history of the English game. Throughout his managerial career at club level, Robson has took charge of some great teams with the likes of Fulham, Ipswich Town, PSV Eindhoven, Sporting, Porto, Barcelona and Newcastle United. And with leading clubs like that, it's fair to say he took charge of some pretty incredible players over the years. So here is the best Bobby Robson Club 11. Hans van Breukelen. From Vitor Bailly to Shay Given, Robson has often had a safe pair of hands between the sticks, but none finer than this man. The Dutch goalkeeping supremo was 34 when Robson arrived at PSV, but he was still Holland's number one and had another 4 years left him at the highest level. The four-time Dutch Goalkeeper of the Year won the Euros and the European Cup in 1988. Eric Gerets. He's the first defender in what is going to be a back three, and was another player that Robson coached at PSV. Gerets is among the game's greatest ever right backs and amongst Belgium's greatest ever footballing exports. Renowned for his stamina and intelligence on the pitch, Gerets won the European Cup with PSV in 1988. Terry Butcher, a stalwart for the Tractor Boys for almost a decade. He won the UEFA Cup in 1981 before going on to play for Rangers and Sunderland. Butcher once claimed that Robson's biggest achievement in life was making not only his fans, his players, but the entire country happy. FERNANDO COUTO. The Portuguese centre-back won 110 caps for his country and turned out the likes of Porto, Barcelona and Lazio. Robson managed him at Porto and then decided to bring him to Barcelona, where he won a host of honours. Pep Guardiola. Robson spent just one season with the Catalan Giants, but he had some fine talent under his stewardship at the Camp Nou. And Guardiola was one of them, a really gifted deep-line playmaker who Cruyff named in his all-time 11. Guardiola spent over a decade with Barca and won 6 La Liga titles, and the Cup Winners' Cup with Robson. Hristo Stoichkov. On the left is another player Robson coached in Catalonia, and possibly Bulgaria's greatest ever player. Stoichkov beat the likes of Roberto Baggio and Paolo Maldini to the 1994 Ballon d'Or and was an integral part of Johan Cruyff's dream team at Barcelona. Luis Figo. From one Ballon d'Or winner to another, on the right wing we have plumped for Figo. Comfortably among the best players in the world in the 90s and 2000s, Figo played under Robson at both Sporting and Barcelona. A pacey winger in his prime with a bag full of tricks, Figo is second to only Lionel Messi in La Liga's all-time assist charts. Johnny Haynes. It speaks volumes of how long Robson was in football management that he managed Haynes, the first £100 a week footballer, and stars that earned more than £100,000 a week. Haynes was described by Pele as the greatest ever passer of the ball, and he spent 18 years as a big fish in a relatively small pond at Fulham. Ronaldo. It is no exaggeration to say that Robson coached some of the greatest strikers the game has ever seen. For many, the pick of the bunch is Ronaldo, who Robson described as the greatest ever player he managed. At his prime, Ronaldo was easily the best player on the planet and one of the greatest players of all time. He spent a sole season with Barcelona under Robson and scored an astonishing 47 goals from just 49 games, winning himself the Ballon d'Or. Romario. Romario was a player of great intelligence, speed, technique, and in front of goal, he was simply devastating. He is officially recognised as scoring 688 goals at club level and 55 at international level, but somehow, according to Romy, that all adds up to 1,000 goals, but we're not going to argue with him. Romario spent 2 seasons under Robson at PSV, during which he scored 39 goals in just 46 games. Alan Shearer. When Robson took over at Newcastle in 1999, Shearer had come really close to leaving, thanks to an awful relationship with Ruud Gullit. Without Robson at the helm, it is really unlikely that Shearer would have gone on to become Newcastle's all-time leading goalscorer. In fact, such was Robson's influence over Shearer that in their first game working together, an 8-0 thumping of Sheffield Wednesday, Shearer netted 5 times. For context, Shearer hadn't scored in the previous 10 league games for Newcastle. And that's our list. Did we miss anybody out? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.